never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fake.
Oh, hey, welcome back to Nsanity Garage, where today we're working on a 2013 Mercedes E350. Now, these are some pretty nice cars, they can be, but they do run out on brakes pretty quick from what I've seen so far. Now, that's all we're doing today, that's not all we're doing today actually. It's got a check engine light, we're gonna diagnose it. At least we're gonna look into it, see if the customer wants to fix it. Stay tuned. Now, did you see how I did that? Got a lot of people complaining about how they take off a European style wheel with these lug studs and they just say, oh, when I take it off it just falls off. Now, you can be one of those suckers that goes to Snap-on, Matco, Mac, whoever, and buy those little inserts that go in here for like $5-15, or you could just do like how I did it. Take all the lug studs off but one, put some pressure on it, take the last one out, set your stuff to the side, take the wheel off. Another thing, to prevent any damage to these wheels or anything, because I do like to set things up here, always turn the wheels outside facing in like that. If anything falls off of this rack, it's not going to damage the wheel. Alright, so we just got the pads and brakes in. One thing we always want to do before we start getting too deep, make sure you got the right parts. You have no idea how many times I've been given the wrong part from the part stores. Now, with rotors, it's pretty simple how you measure them up. Just take a rotor. This one is the heaviest. Real easy determination that this one goes to the front. You set it on the hub right here. Then you can take your fingers and go across. This one matches up. This is the exact rotor that we need for the front of this vehicle. Now, some rotors, options, things like that, the rotors that you get might not match the actual vehicle. Say this one had a sport package. The front rotors would definitely be bigger than the standard style rotor. You have to watch out for that. One thing to keep in mind when doing a proper brake inspection, always take the pads off, check the slides. Are these sliding freely? These are sliding pretty good. At least that one is, this one's sliding good. You never know by looking through a wheel at brake pads about the thickness. Is that caliper seized up? Are those slides seized up? You gotta take it apart anyway to actually do the job. It don't take but 5 minutes to do this. And now that we have taken it apart, we can see that the brake pad material is actually starting to crack due to age and heat. Now, this is very common on vehicles that haven't had their brakes done in a long time. Fords especially the pad material will start cracking, causing squeaks and other things like that. So you always want to be sure to pull the pads off when doing a proper brake inspection. If you're not pulling the pads, you're not doing it right. All right, so we took apart the front driver's side. There's no sensor on that side, but on the front passenger side, there is a sensor. It gets plugged in right here. Now, if you look, you can see that the wires have been cut. There is no actual sensor base that goes into the pad, and these wires have been twisted together. So I know that whoever did this last time did not do this job correctly. Okay, so we got the brakes off. We're putting new rotors on. I've already cleaned the back side of this brake rotor. Now you always want to make sure that you clean these the best as you can. I personally like to take some brake clean and a rag, wipe them down good, front and back. What can happen is these are actually covered in a special kind of oil to keep them from rusting in the box while they're in storage. You have to get that off. If you don't get that off, you're gonna have a bunch of smoke. Your pads are actually going to be covered in a film that will not allow you to stop as good as possible. So it's very important that you clean these rotors correctly. That goes for all Europeans, American, doesn't matter. Unless they're one of those painted rotors where you actually have to get the material off by braking, like on some of the special Audis and things like that. Those are the only ones you don't have to worry about. These ones, not like that. Okay, so we got the brakes all done and everything. We just need to pump the pedal, take it for a test drive, get the pads seated, and then we're all good on the brakes. Then we still have to see what that check engine light's about. But before we ever get into the car, gotta go wash our hands. PO 346, the position of the intake camshaft cylinder bank 2 has malfunction. P2272, the signal from oxygen sensor 2 bank 2 is shifted towards lean. PO 157, O2 sensor 2 bank 2 has a short circuit ground. P002177, the position intake cam cylinder bank 2 deactivates from the specific value. The command position cannot be reached. Alright, so we got the brakes all done. We got the code scan and everything. Turns out there's an issue with the downstream bank 2 O2 sensor. It's got a couple codes. There's also an issue probably with the timing on this one. The only thing is the codes that were there were stored, not current codes or history codes, unfortunately. If they were history codes, I would not even be worried about it. Cleared it, sent it on its way. But since they are stored codes, we're going to let the customer drive it for a little while, see if the codes come back, and then we'll talk to the customer about doing repairs then. But for right now, we're all set. The customer's going to be happy, and we're going to be happy as well. So, this is Nsanity Garage signing off. Always build insanely.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh*t. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate